G'day guys, how you doing? It's the Kiwi back with another video. So in the previous video I mentioned about sharing knowledge, information out of this book for you guys. And I asked you to leave comments in the comment section below in regards to whether or not you'd want to be interested, etc. And I got a wide variety of comments actually. And so I've given this a lot of thought, and when I mean I've given it a lot of thought, I have given this a huge amount of thought. And what I'm going to do is there's going to be certain things that I'm going to share with you that are going to be beneficial to your life, also my life. There is certain knowledge that is certainly going to be very beneficial, especially understanding timelines, and how everything works in this realm where we live, this consciousness matrix. Some people call it the matrix. However you want to perceive it, it is all comes down to being the exact same thing, which is a realm of energy, a consciousness. And that consciousness is created by us, you and me. This has been proven over and over and over again by quantum physicists, quantum mechanics, quantum science. There is absolutely no way of denying this. But the reason why I'm not interested in putting any more focus or any more intention to this stuff is by... And this hit me pretty hard this week. By constantly putting attention towards this sort of information or towards these individuals, these characters, what we're doing is we're actually giving them a license to prevail. We're actually helping them to continue their existence. And that's something I'm not interested in doing. I'm not interested in feeding into these individuals' plans. I'm not interested in feeding into their energy. I'm not interested in having you, the viewer, going down that path either. You see, what a lot of people don't realize is all these alternative media channels that are talking about the Illuminati and the control and this and that and everything else, they're actually helping to perpetuate this stuff. They're actually helping to perpetuate what is going on in our world around us. And how that works, and as I said, this has been proven as far as quantum science, quantum mechanics, everything. Even the interesting thing is genuinely what Buddha taught over here is actually being proven by quantum science, quantum physics, quantum mechanics. It's absolutely stunning stuff to actually research and look into. However, the reality is this: where our consciousness goes, where our thoughts go, where our energy is, where our energy flows. So individuals, like there's been a bunch of people going on about how Russell Brand is one of these individuals, okay? Well, yeah. Think about what he's constantly going on about. He's constantly going on about the Illuminati. He's constantly going on about how these power players and these rulers and all these different people and what they're doing and everything. Well, what he's doing is he's got 4.5 million subscribers that are following him and putting all their energy towards that stuff. And the amount of energy that you're constantly putting towards that stuff, guess what you're doing? You're keeping the systems working. It's absolutely stunning how it works. So I personally, I have no desire to take part in any of that stuff. What I'm going to be sticking to is exactly what I said in the video, our path back to ourselves. I'm going to be sticking with rebuilding my life. I'm going to be sticking with what I am doing to rebuild my life. I'm going to share with you, the viewer, what I am doing to rebuild my life, and I'm going to share ancient knowledge and wisdom with you guys that you can utilize to build your life in the path that you need to be building it for you. Not how I'm rebuilding my life. What I'll utilize is I'll show you what I am doing and how I utilize this ancient knowledge to actually move my life in the direction that I'm going in now. It's that simple. And it really is a very, very easy process to go through. Depending on how old you are, you know, if you're a young one, if you're in your 20s and you're just starting to figure out the direction that you want to go in life, I'm going to do a video on how you can utilize certain information to actually help you down that path. And it's the same information that these guys use, but these guys are using it to keep things going how they want it going. That's what Russell Brand is. Russell Brand, who is part of the Rothschilds family. He's married into the Rothschilds family, who are big individuals as far as this crowd is concerned. He is working for them. I mean, he's making a shit ton of money because they understand the laws of attraction. These individuals are literally using the combined consciousness of humanity to move everything in the direction that they want it going in. And all you have to do is continually focus on what they're doing. That's why there's so much symbology. These guys have so much symbology everywhere around the world. And when you understand how this ancient symbology works in regards to the geometry, it's ancient sacred geometry, believe it or not. By even looking at that stuff, you are giving these individuals power to keep everything moving in the direction that it's going in. So I'm going to give you an idea of just how powerful this energy, this consciousness, how they feed and how they get us to follow along. You see, when we're talking about creation, when we're talking about creating something, okay, the reality of the situation is that the creation process happens in 3 phases. 1, 2, 3. And Nikola Tesla actually said once you understand the power of 3, 6, and 9, you'll understand the power of the universe. Well, the first thing is everything happens in 3s. As a kid growing up, my parents used to always say, everything happens in 3s, Lawrence. Everything happens in 3s. And this was well before my father became a Mason or anything like that. And it was very interesting because it's only in the last, most probably 5, 10 years, I've really understood how the creation process actually works. And it happens in a 3-step phase. And this is how these individuals utilize one of these phases for ultimate power. So the first step of the creation process is you'll have a thought. Okay, when you have a thought, let's say you want to build a house, or you want to build a race car, or you want to go on a holiday somewhere. You can have this thought, but then if you don't turn that thought into something physical, what does it become? It just stays a thought. It just stays in the ether, in the matrix, whatever you want to call it. And what happens is if it stays in that ether, that matrix, it doesn't become anything. You have to turn it into something physical. Okay? So the first thing that you do after you have a thought is you write it down. You take your thought that you've got, your dream, your idea, whatever it is you want it to be, and you write it down. That does 2 things. 1, it gives you something to reference to keep that thought, that idea alive, but 2, it actually puts it into something physical. Because that's the most important phase of the creation process, is actually keeping it in something physical. And you can't get anything more physical and long-lasting than the written word. The written word, the power of the pen, is monstrous. There's a reason why you have the congressional library back in Washington, which is full of books on laws and history and everything like that. The Constitution is called a what? The Constitution is called a living document, because these ideas for the US Constitution were written down on paper, okay, and people revere that document. It's because everybody understands and can repeat, well, not everybody, but a good percentage of the population can understand and repeat the actual Constitution. At the human level, that document is kept alive. So it is a living document. That is the creation process hard at work. And this is how these individuals keep everything going along, how they need things going along. So the third process, or the third part of the process, is you have your thought, you put your thought down into writing, into paper. The final part of the process is the writing manifests itself into a reality. So if you put laws down into law books, if you put rules and regulations down into writing, all this writing becomes a reality. So that is how, in all sincerity, I'm not kidding you, that is how these individuals keep everything rolling along how they want it rolling along. So that is why I have absolutely no interest in sharing the unnecessary stuff. I will share the necessary stuff that is needed for you as an individual to be able to move forward in your life in a positive way. This is a good example of a positive way that this rule of three, or the creation process, this is a positive way of how that process works. And I've utilized this all my life without actually even realizing it. And that was when I was building hot rods and custom cars. You see, I had come up with, I'd have an idea on what I want to build and put out into the world. So I would say, okay, I want to build my Camaro race car. So I have the thought, I have the idea. The next thing that I did was I actually took the ideas and all the parts that I'd need and the process that I'd have to go through, and I would write it down. So that gave me two things. It gave me the fact that the thought was still alive, and two, it gave me a reference point to actually continually go to see what my process was, progress, everything. So what happened over the period of 6 years was I was able to take a thought, continually reference that thought, go down a checklist and see what I had accomplished, what I hadn't accomplished, what I needed to do, parts I needed to buy, etc., etc., etc. And then as time moved on, because I did not only put it down in writing, but I did the work, the actual physical, the manual physical part of it, I ended up having a finished product, an actual finished vehicle. That is one of the positive aspects of how you can use this rule of creation, the rule of what I call threes, everything happens in threes, to your advantage. So depending on what it is that you want to do in life, let's say for argument's sake you want to you want to learn more about yourself. Okay, you've got this thought, it's like I need to fix this problem that I've got, or I need to fix this issue. You write down what the issue is. You write down the problem that you're having. You write down whatever it is that you need to fix about yourself. You've got the thought, I need to, like I had the thought, the idea that, the reason I was attracting all these crazy females into my world was, it was me. And this was this was the start of my whole awakening process. I had this amazing epiphany. Actually, I took a photograph of it. Check it out. Here we go, guys. In July of 2004, I was working on my Camaro, okay? And I had this thought of, why am I always attracting crazy women into my life? You know, what's going on? And I had this epiphany that the problem was me. And I was like, oh my God, I need to work on this. Well, I used to do a lot of journaling. I still do journaling to a point, but not as much as I used to. So what I did was I wrote down that I needed to work on this particular. It's like, I am the reason all these crazy women are coming into my life. And I actually took a photograph of that particular moment in time. And this is the photograph right there. That is me, 2004. This was the Camaro I was building, and it was literally the day, that photograph was taken the day I had that epiphany. That was the start of my journey. 18 years ago, or coming up to 18 years ago. This is the power of this creation process of everything happening in threes. You have the thought, you write the thought down, you put it into the physical world, and then so long as you keep on referencing that written word, that thought, then over time it will start to manifest, it will start to become reality. It won't happen overnight, depending on the size of the project. It's like, for argument's sake, the Camaro, okay, this vehicle. That was total time, it was about 8 years in total time to actually build that vehicle. But you have to realize I was going through a divorce, I was moving businesses, houses, you name it. There was all sorts of chaos going in my life. However, this gave me solace. This gave me something to continually focus on. And it really, really helped me get through my divorce. So this is how you could say, this is kind of like one of those videos where it's utilizing the knowledge that these guys are utilizing to control us, but utilizing it for our own advantage, utilizing it for our own direction, purposes, whatever in life. So I hope this helps you in some way, shape or form, and I will be coming out with another video soon. Alrighty, I'll talk to you later, guys. Cheers.